I just purchased my Sony A9 III and I need to update it to the latest firmware version. To check your version, you're going to press the menu button, go down to the briefcase, which is a setup, and then go down to the very last one, menu item 13 for setup options. From there, you're going to check the version. I have version 1.0. I checked the Sony website and they are now up to version 3.01. So I'm going to be updating my body version. Typically, when you update a Sony camera, you're going to copy the new firmware to the slot 1 SD card. That typically requires you to format the SD card. We're going to do just that. To format the card, press menu, and then you're going to format. I have it actually set up here in my custom menu, format, and I'm going to format the card in slot 1. I am a Windows-based user for my cameras. To obtain the latest firmware, we're going to go to the Sony website. From the Sony website, we're going to go Business Products, Consumer Electronics, Imaging, and then Mirrorless Full Frame. I'm going to choose my camera, which is a Sony A9 III. Support. Download firmware. As you can see, version 3.01 was released in April. It is now June. Typically, I wait a few days before downloading the firmware and then check the internet to see if there are any problems arising from the firmware update. Since it's been a couple months, I should be good to go. Now again, a couple things. Check your firmware to see if it is anything other than the latest version. If you're already in version 3.01, this update is not required. Then you're going to download the firmware to your computer. Make sure, however you set your download parameters, in that folder, you do not have any other firmware updates from prior periods or firmware updates for other cameras. And then again, format your memory card before saving it to your memory card. Make sure you don't have anything important that you don't want deleted in that memory card. So from here, we're going to do download. This is the end user license agreement. Just scroll to the bottom, download, and then it will be downloading in a few seconds here. Once the download is complete, it's going to show up as this file name, bodydata.dat. Again, I have my download set up in my download folder, and this is the freshly formatted SD card from my camera. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to move this or copy this to the SD card. I've successfully copied the firmware into the SD card. Now, as a rule of thumb, I typically create backup copies of all the firmware for all the cameras that I currently have. You never know when you're going to need to resave or re-update your camera. Now that we have the firmware in the SD card, next thing you're going to check is make sure you have a full battery. Do not attempt the firmware update with any battery that has anything below 51%. I typically like to have a freshly charged battery when I do my firmware updates. Now, the firmware updates only works in slot 1. So we're going to insert the SD card in slot 1. Wait for that to recognize. To continue, press the menu button. Go to the briefcase or setup, and then menu folder 13. Setup options. From there, you're going to go down to version again. And then we're going to do software update. Read this, follow the precautions until the very end. So do not turn off or remove the media during the update. This update will take a few minutes, so don't panic. Your camera will automatically reboot when it's done. From there, we're at the end. We're gonna select execute. Again, this will take some time, so don't panic. You're gonna watch out for the blinking lights on the camera. So this just changed to 1, 2, 3. As you can see, it's taking a few minutes. Don't panic. Let the camera do its thing. blinking pattern has changed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's now blinking 5 times. Again, just relax. Let the camera go through the motions of updating the firmware. Camera just rebooted. Let it complete its cycle. Body update is now complete. Click the OK button. Then again, we're going to check for the version firmware. .01. You've now successfully updated your Sony A9 III to body version 3.01. Thank you for watching.